The beautiful finish achieved by making the welds as unnoticeable as possible comes from the company's strong technical expertise, which is considered among the top in Japan. Supporting the manufacturing process are the technical interns from Vietnam.
Watch carefully how it's done.
They work here for 3 years, acquiring skills through practical training and classes before returning to their country. Katsuden Architect President Kiyoshige Sakata says they're accepting more Vietnamese interns than 4 years ago.
If I ask, for example, isn't there a problem here? The Vietnamese interns will ask what the problem is and listen properly. And when I explain in greater detail, they'll understand. Their thirst for knowledge and motivation are so strong, you just can't compare them to Japanese workers.
Guanfu Koa is one such intern. He is 22 years old and comes from Gia Lai province in the central highlands of Vietnam. From about 10 months ago, he has been working as a technical intern at this factory.
Push against it properly. Watch your hands.
Under the supervision of Japanese engineers, he operates equipment to process parts, rounds angular parts in a method called beveling, and is responsible for other work related to welding. One day, Mr. Sakata decides to take him to the company's showroom. In supervising workers, Mr. Sakata emphasizes the importance of seeing things from the user's perspective. How is one's work connected to aspects such as visual beauty and safety? He uses finished products to instruct his workers and raise their awareness.
You were grinding this part too. This, for example. We grind this so that it doesn't protrude, and it isn't dangerous if small children bump their heads against it.
In the evening, we visited Koa's dormitory. In a room provided by the company, he lives with 2 others. They cook most of their meals. Back in Vietnam, Koa is the second oldest in a family of 5. The family business is farming. They are by no means considered financially well off. In Japan, he tries to save as much of his income as possible to send back home. Many trainees help support their families while learning new skills. Back in Vietnam, another worker dispatch organization called LOD Human Resource Development Corporation offers opportunities for people to acquire technical skills in the country. Its chairman, Vu Con Bin, gives his view on Japan's industrial trainee and technical internship program.
When interns work in Japan and come back, they become a high-quality workforce. That's because interns study during their time in Japan, absorbing knowledge before returning. Another big aspect is that they contribute to their families, their own selves, and to the economy for society. It becomes a big source of income, helping to relieve poverty and to resolve various social problems. You could say, for the Vietnamese economy, this program is extremely significant.
This is the LOD Vocational College of Industrial Technologies. It's in a suburb about a 2-hour drive from Hanoi. With a capacity for 9,000 students, it's a business school where everyone lives on campus. We were guided through the college by advisor Norio Azami. While the sheer size of the place is impressive, what stand out are the well-equipped facilities built specifically to provide training in the fields of welding and construction.
This is the occupation training area. Today, the students are using actual scaffolds and rebar and getting practical training in carpentry, plastering, and other work.
At this training area, the students undergo practical training and gain experience in various techniques and technologies used at construction sites in Japan. What's more,
this is an actual wood-framed house typically seen in Japan. The interns build it, put up the outer walls, and even work on the interior. This is all part of the class.
as an advisor to the school, Mr. Azami teaches many of the subjects here, such as welding.
Do it slower.
Mr. Azami worked for 47 years in the welding field. Involved in the repair work of a U.S. aircraft carrier in the past, he's an expert on shipbuilding techniques and technologies in Japan, as well as around the world. Mr. Azami started taking on the role of supervising technical interns around 2004. As his friendship with them grew, he decided he wanted to dedicate his life after retirement to teaching people in Vietnam. We visited him during a class that he considers especially important.
Today we'll be studying what 5S means.
This class is on the term 5S that's applied in the manufacturing and service industries to promote the maintenance and improvement of the work environment. 5S is a concept that originated in Japan, and a strict adherence to it, such as improving visibility in the workplace, is said to help clarify problems and issues.
Japan is a country where people who want to make a product that's #1 in the world will first say they can't do that unless the workplace is neat and clean. That's how you make a #1 product.
Mr. Azami has gained the complete trust of the students.
He's a dedicated teacher.
He's dedicated and cares about people.
They're the same as my own children after all. When they say goodbye and leave for Japan, we're all in tears. I'm affected as well. I also shed tears. It's universal. Whichever country I go to in the world, I want to help people acquire applicable techniques. Ultimately, I believe that leads to a kind of contribution to local communities in Vietnam.
People from various other Asian countries also undergo training at Japanese companies. Many return home and join companies where they can put the skills they acquired to use, taking on leadership roles. In recent years, more than a few former interns have returned to their countries and applied their know-how to start businesses. About a 2-hour drive from Ho Chi Minh City is Lo Nan Province. We visited a factory there. This is Don Van Tai. After spending 3 years in Japan as a technical intern, he set up a plastic molding factory here in 2011. They make toys, such as miniature cars and other plastic products.
They're products for children, so we make products with a focus on safety that won't cause injury when handled.
The factory has been recognized in Vietnam as a maker of high-quality and safe products, and it says orders from overseas are also growing.
When I went to Japan to study, I felt the Japanese products looked attractive and were durable. Every product is made with care. In terms of both appearance and quality, they're outstanding when compared to similar products. So my aim is to work hard so that we can make such products as well. And if we can sell those in the Vietnamese market, I'll be able to fulfill my dream.
There was a total of 8 employees. Aside from Thai, all are locally hired. He explains to them what the focus on quality he learned about in Japan means.
When you're working, check the product well and try to spot the defective ones.
In this way, Vietnamese people who studied and acquired Japanese techniques return home and pass on their knowledge to local workers. That ripple effect appears to be spreading. And at the same time, motivated by the examples set by these earlier interns, students in Vietnam who hope to study in Japan are pursuing big dreams.
When I come back from Japan, I want to continue working in the rebar fabrication field.
I plan to work at a printing company and hope to become a manager one day.
If and when the Olympics are held in Vietnam, I want to be involved in making stadiums, the athletes' village, gymnasiums, and other useful structures.
Vietnam has emerged as one of the key production centers for Japanese companies in Southeast Asia, following Thailand and Malaysia. There have also been remarkable improvements in the standard of living. It could be said that the driving force is the cultivation of both people and goods. If this continues, and infrastructure such as that for logistics is put in place, the country may enter the next phase of its economic growth.
The preceding presentation was paid for by the government of Japan and produced by Nikkei Visual Images. The opinions, views, and claims expressed do not reflect those of CNBC.